Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sonimmo Podcast. This is the first episode. I'm your host, Hammad Mustafa, speaking to you from Dubai. I am accompanied by Carlo and Marco. This is going to be a very exciting and valuable discussion today for you. Now, let's dive right in. So I'm just going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for inviting us to this podcast session. My name is Carlo Bongiovanni. I'm sales director at Sonimmo Real Estate, and I've been in Dubai now for about 7 years and doing real estate. And I'm happy that Marco is joining us today for this podcast. So please, Marco, I leave the word to you.
Thanks a lot for the invitation, and we hope to give a lot of valuable information today about real estate. My name is Marco. I'm currently a sales manager at Sobha. It's 10 years that I've been here in Dubai, so quite a few. I saw a lot of changes during this 10 years. And I'm from Switzerland and at the same time from Mexico. So I'm a mix, Swiss-Mexican.
Sounds like a great mix. So before we talk real estate, before we get into the actual introduction, I want to get your experience. What did moving to Dubai kind of teach you? What did you learn that you didn't expect before? How was the Dubai experience?
So, in terms of, for example, for me, I started doing real estate back in London. I'm originally from Italy, but I moved there when I was 19. And after I graduate, I just jump into this industry. I always like, real estate from commercial to residential. And what I really like test there was a completely different market. So when I arrive here because in Europe we have kind of older building, sometimes people do refurbishing, or there are very few new construction, a few new off-plan, let's say. So when I moved to Dubai, I saw cranes everywhere, a city that was coming from the desert, basically. And I remember the area I started working on was downtown. I like the idea of, the city center, I would say, living close to the main landmarks. At the same time, it looked to me like a bit of Las Vegas Arabic version,
Absolutely.
I would say. And I remember when I jump into real estate in Dubai, I started doing leasing. So at the beginning, when you do leasing, it's all about, try to find listing, meeting owners, do pictures, publish your listings, and then try to, do as many viewing as you can. Because at the end of the day, you need to find always the perfect match, the person that's going to like the unit you have. But it's not that easy, I would say. So my first few months, I would say, was about learning, studying the market. And, I was fascinated about how many buildings there were. And all this building had, for example, pool, nice amenities, gym, parking, something that in Europe is not something that we give for granted, especially, in Italy, most of the time you need to pay extra for a parking space or a garage. Instead, there's something that you have in all the buildings. And
Right.
Apart from that, security, concierge, it's amazing. So yeah, that's how I start my real estate journey. And then from there, shape into then secondary markets, all about, resales, and I started doing as well off-plan. And, for Italian, off-plan was something that at the beginning was really hard to understand as well. Because, in where I'm from, there's this culture about if you don't see it, maybe it doesn't exist.
True.
And
That's true about a lot of places.
Something that took some time to develop. And, I believe that as soon as you understand the process and how it works and how regulated as well, the market, it helped me to, gain confidence as well and start doing the first transaction. And I really like the market in Dubai. I think it's growing fast, and at the same time, you offer everything from, apartment, villa, townhouses to beautiful commercial buildings, hotels, shops, restaurants. So, you name it. What about you, Marco? How was your, how did you start your experience here in the real estate market in Dubai?
Yeah, it was quite a long time ago. As I said, it was more than 10 years that I came to Dubai. I landed. And I remember my brother, when he came for the first time, he's a lot into superheroes, and he told me, oh, this looks like Gotham City, like a futuristic city, with a metro,
Right.
with a lot of high-rise buildings. And what Dubai is teaching, I think it's about innovation. There is a lot of innovation that is coming in this country. regardless of real estate, you have a lot of different industries that are innovating at a fast pace as well. It's a city that is 24/7, that you have a vision from, let's say, from the government and from the sheikh to be number one in everything as well. So even myself, it taught me as well to always, let's say, strive to the best. I know that you can do it in a city that gives you a lot of opportunities as well. And I've seen this in 10 years. I mean, when I came, it changed. The place that I'm living right now, it was a desert. It was not existent at all. So they built different communities, villas, apartments, with extremely nice views over Dubai as well. So it's a city that it's innovating all the time. And this is where, if you compare to other countries, other parts of the world, it's not the same. And that's why Dubai is succeeding a lot.
Absolutely. Now, you guys came into real estate because, of course, you saw the absolute abundance of all the construction cranes and the skyscrapers going up. And there's just, it's an absolute booming real estate market. It's growing. And that naturally leads to the need for real estate agents. Now, some people argue that perhaps it's oversaturated in terms of how many real estate agents there are. And there's a lot of real estate agents that are perhaps have no clue what they're talking about. What do you guys think?
All right. So look, Hammad, what I saw, for example, in my experience in Dubai and this couple of years I've been in the city is that, of course, back in the day, especially before COVID, there used to be less agents, but there used to be even less project, I would say. In the last few years, the city, as Marco as well was mentioning, there is a long-term vision. So you see there is, in terms of, for example, a waterfront community, of course, there is not much space left in Dubai. We saw some example, the area being converted from leasehold to freehold, for example, La Mer. Now there are new beachfront development like in Maritime City or Dubai Islands, but in general, the city is growing towards the desert and there are plenty of opportunity, and that's why I believe, of course, it's like a consequence. More project gonna drive more agents to come in because
Absolutely.
the developer will need manpower. They will need people that will pitch their project there. And then, of course, as in any other industry, you need people at the same time that are able to match the developer vision, the agency vision at the same time to develop their own skills. Of course, this is now always easy, but at the same time, I think I'm not worried about the saturation of the market because, any big city has high competition. The competition actually make you better, I believe, because if we are in Dubai, it's because we want to make things better. We want to be a better version of ourselves every day. But what I'm more worried, I would say right now, is that there are people, that company actually there is lack of mentorship. There is lack of of training itself, because I believe any individual, whenever you join a new industry, you should be more you should have someone that drive you in this journey, someone that you can look after, that you can learn from. And I believe in Dubai at the moment is something that most of developer, even agencies, should start doing it, because who's doing this is building solid teams with strong foundation, and they're doing great. So I don't blame the agents, but sometimes it's more about, I would say, how solid is the structure of a company. Because real estate is amazing. We can confirm for all of us, there's an industry that if you hustle, that you're persistent, it's going to pay back. Something everyone, of course, dreamed the multi-million-dollar deal, close an amazing commission that's going to create generational wealth. But I believe everything will happen if you get to the point to make this happen, in a way that you need to really work hard to build your network, to build credibility. Because at the end of the day, what I can tell you is, I believe after 7 years in Dubai, there's the best marketing is the word of mouth. How do you get referrals?
Absolutely.
You need to, of course, build this trust with clients. If clients don't trust you, they will go somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, people want solution and they want someone that delivers the solution. So that's my experience so far. So I'm not really worried, about the oversaturation, but I'm more worried about the kind of message and value people bring in the market.
Well, let me ask you this then. real estate is all about selling, right? But real estate as a career is also very easy to sell and to pitch to someone. The idea of calculating how much commission you can make off of a 10 million villa, in your iPhone calculator, it sounds like a dream. So naturally, a lot of people are inclined to join real estate. But have you ever been embarrassed by someone who wrongfully, you could say, represented the industry, or by certain practices that certain individuals did? Have you guys ever encountered that?
Yeah, it happens. You have a lot of agents, and as you said, everybody, like in Dubai, you have a lot of agents that are here, and they want to start with the profession. But when you start as well, you need to bear in mind as well that you need to provide added value to the client as well.
Absolutely.
When you go to a meeting, when you have a prospect lead as well, you need to know your numbers. You need to know the layouts. You need to know the location. This is quite important, because if you don't know it, then you don't know what you're selling. Maybe some clients, they will not know Dubai. They will sign on the spot, because today Dubai, it's easy to sell. We have the numbers, everything is going up. But then you will get penalized in a couple of years. When you receive the property, then it's not the ROI that you committed to your client. Of course, it's difficult to do a forecast, but at least you can have some numbers. And instead of telling 12%, then you should have looked at the numbers and tell your client you would have got 8%. And sorry to say this, but there is a lot of, let's say, agents that are in the market. They don't know how to calculate ROI or return of equity as well. So I'm surprised. Today they can survive, but on a long term, I think it will change.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, I really agree with Marco. The issue nowadays is that, everything, whenever you meet a new client, they have different story, different background, and different as well expectation. I believe life is a lot about expectation, especially when you're buying a house. It's a big commitment at the end of the day. You're thinking about maybe it's life savings. You're buying for investment. You're buying as an end user, so you want to live in the unit. So I believe what the most important part is that when you start the conversation with the client, you should always listen to the client requirements, because what I notice most of the time, people are just trying to pitch what they like and what they want to sell, maybe because they're gonna make a bigger commission, or they're gonna have, a good relationship with the owner, so the owner will give them more units to sell. And this is not something I believe that is gonna pay you back in the long run, because especially if you want to be a relationship with your clients, has to be built on trust, and you need to be even confident sometimes to say, look, I believe this investment maybe is not gonna pay you back like if you buy something else. And the only way to know this is running the numbers, doing analytics. And nowadays in Dubai, we are very lucky, because you have everything black and white. You can go on website like Dixby Interact, you type the name of a tower project, and you can see the median price per square foot, True. How many units were sold in the same building. So I think everything, it's very solid and regulated in Dubai. It's not something that, like it used to be back in the day. In Dubai, there are a lot of stories that before the big crisis in 2008, you could buy a house at 5%, flip it. Now this doesn't happen anymore. And the problem, if we go back to the, topic of the saturation of agent, it's not about the saturation, it's about that sometimes people bring the wrong message in the table, because True. As I said before, it's all about expectation. If you're planning to buy a house and your agent is telling you you'll resell it in 1 year, you're going to make 100% of what you paid, then you are putting your client in a position that is thinking, today I'm buying this house, tomorrow morning I'm selling it, and I'm going to double my money. And if this is not going to happen, you will be in trouble, because you really put yourself in a position that I'm selling because I'm trusting you. And then if this trust it's not gonna be exceeded, I would say, or even meet, you're gonna lose your credibility and reputation in the market. At the end of the day, Dubai is a big city, but people look for yourself on LinkedIn reviews. One bad review is gonna be no one is gonna care about 50 good reviews if you're gonna have a bad review. So I always think it's really important to be transparent and Absolutely. To try to advise your client. Because at the end of the day, I think we don't sell anything. We just advise our clients in either their investment or in purchasing their dream home. And then they are the final decision maker, of course.
Absolutely. Well, to paint a picture for our viewers, what is the worst experience you've seen some of your clients deal with certain brokers that they dealt with in the past?
Marco, would you like to start on this?
Look, bad examples. I mean, you have it every day. If you're not prepared, then of course this will look bad to the client as well. I think today what's missing as well is after sales as well. It's not only to sell a property, the agent gets the commission done. I go on holidays on Ibiza and that's it.
Absolutely.
No, you need to look for your client. There is a lot of things that will come afterwards as well. You need to follow up on the payments. You need to know the handover. You need to know when the notice will be there. A lot of international clients, they don't know how Dubai works as well. So you need to provide this information and to be available for them as well. It's normal for them to not know the market. Every country has different rules as well. So you need to be there for your client, and he can refer to later on to other people with friends, circles, and this will help a lot. So I think this is something that most of the agents, they think, okay, they do a sale, they look for the next one to get their commission, but they don't treat the client, let's say, the right way with the after sales. I have an example from my side. I had one client. They called me on a weekend to assist an Italian speaker. They needed an Italian speaker. I came to the office, and I saw the client. I helped him out to select a unit, and after 2 months, he was keen to invest in another property as well. And because I was following up the next 2 months with him, he told me, look, Marco, I trust you. I know what you're doing. What you're offering are great projects as well. You always pick the best units. I sold a second unit to him as well. Then after 3 months, it was a third unit. So with one client, I was able to propose him three units because of the service that I provided to him, let's say the guidance, and he was happy with the service as well. And I think this is very important for the clients as well.
Absolutely.
You know, for me, I had like mainly experienced similar, but the unfortunately clients, especially international clients, you know, going back to, let's call even non-resident clients. So people that have been here on vacation, maybe they saw the boat at the airport, at the shopping mall, and they start learning more about, you know, as I said before, in Europe, we don't have much of plan. So they need to more start digesting the idea about something which is not ready, which has been launched. So I had a couple of clients in the past that purchased from third-party brokers, and they didn't have a good experience in a way that, as Marco was saying as well, sometimes everyone has this feeling, it's a common feeling from many clients, that when they buy a house, it ends with when you sign the SPA, which is the sales purchase agreement, that you purchase the house and it's registered with the DLD, the broker kind of disappear. So many clients feel like lost. They say, okay, but wait a second, I bought the house. Now it's going to be the point of contact. Who's going to help me in this process of payment plan tomorrow morning. Once a unit is ready, you know, it's going to take care of my handover, because I don't live here. Maybe I live in London, I live in Milan, I live in New York. So this is something that many investors are complaining about. And another thing is that, unfortunately, sometimes brokers take advantage of the fact that the client doesn't live in Dubai, doesn't know the market, and so they try to charge extra fee on top. Like, for example, you know, in Dubai, it's common practice, I think everyone is aware of, that whenever you buy off-plan from the developer, even if it's ready, so primary sales, absolutely. I consider primary sales, whatever it's, no one ever bought it before, you're buying from, I would say, the source, which is the developer.
That's the definition.
And in that case, you're not liable to pay any commission to your broker, to your agency, because in that case, it's the broker that pay the agent or the agency. But even though there are cases, and we heard a couple of it,
really,
the broker still charge the client for the agency fee, because usually the agency fee only apply on a secondary sale. So whenever there is an existing owner that purchase from a previous owner or from the developer and resell it to third party, in that case, the commission fee applies. So, you know, I believe in Dubai in general, as it's a market that's growing very fast, what we should kind of work more from A to Z in the industry is more about awareness, it's more about the regulation, because the market is really good regulated. So it's not about there are no regulations about it. We should more spread the word about what are the steps and what are the, I would say, all the fee they apply. Because I believe most of the time, unfortunately, Marco can confirm this from the developer side, you find brokers, they just try to connect the client with the broker, with the developer. But at the end of the day, the job end there, they expect the relationship manager or the sales manager, director from the developer take care of everything else. Instead, should be it should be a win-win situation where you work with your partner, but at the end of the day, you should work as a team, even if you are no part of the same team. So yeah, that's, I can tell you many stories, honestly, about broker, but I would say in general, one thing they really, I don't want to say drive me crazy, but I don't really like is when agents try to cheat on the commission. And this, I think, it's something that's not healthy, something that's not fair for the industry, because this is how you can ruin the reputation of the industry, and that's not good.
Absolutely. And talking about international buyers, I mean, let's face it. So buying a home and marrying someone are some of the most important decisions you'll take in your life. So purchasing a home is one of the most important things that a person can do in their life, for many people, arguably. Most of the markets in the world, it's a stressful thing to do. But in Dubai, it is relatively easy, straightforward, stress-free. How does Dubai make buying property a good experience?
For example, from my side, I can tell you, comparing to Italy, where I'm from, here there is less bureaucracy. I mean, they still try to, of course, make sure that no one can really skip the system and try to play in a bad way. But I would say, in Dubai, whatever you do in terms of transaction, there should be registered with the DLD, which is the Dubai Land Department. There is a flat fee, which is 4%. It's regardless of the amount, so it's 4% based on the purchase price of the unit. And on top of that, you pay what is called the trustee fee. In Italy, what we have is a notary fee, which is very similar, I believe. I think even in Switzerland, you have something similar.
True. And
on top of that, as I said before, everything is kind of black and white. When you are purchasing a house, you have a sales purchase agreement, everything is written there, from not only about the size, the layout, but it's even about, the finishing, right? You should put, most of the time, if it's a house, for example, it's fully furnished, you're going to have as well all the detail of the furniture, which will you receive from the developer. And another thing, it's about even the material. If it's going to be marble, if it's going to be a type of concrete, of tiles. So I think this is put the buyer in a safe position, saying, look, I know what I'm buying. So I believe Dubai in general, like the UAE itself, it's kind of streamline this process to make it easier for the buyer to buy. Because at the end of the day, Marco is going to give us more insight about this. But if you're buying off-plan unit, what you need is your passport copy, your email address, I think, phone number to make the booking, right, Marco? I think these are the...
It's quite easy. So one of the advantages is that you can book a unit or a property from abroad. You don't even have to come to Dubai. That's one of the advantages that we have here as well.
All right, so I'll give you this one thing. For international buyers, can you explain in under 1 minute how to buy a property in Dubai?
Quite simple. You just need a passport copy. You just need an email address, phone number, your physical address. I send you a link. You pay the amount of 2% just to book the unit, and you have your unit reserved. Then you will receive a booking form, and then later on you will have your SPA. So quite simple. It's a timeline of, let's say, 2 weeks to 3 weeks to have your property and SPA ready. We have an example as well. For example, my wife, she's trying to... actually, she sold her apartment in France. She sold it in March. Until today, we're still dealing with the papers.
Wow.
She had to go there to sign papers, to come back, documentation, lawyer, notary. So it's a process that takes a lot of time as well. You have a lot of bureaucracy that you don't have here in Dubai. Everything is digital. Everything is seamless. It's quite quick, and you can have a property in a matter of time without coming to Dubai. Yeah.
Well, Also, most people don't know that developers have to put up 30% of the project value when the project starts. And I think a big mechanism into why Dubai is so safe and the pictures, the renders you see of those off-plan projects get delivered is the fact that they have an amazing mechanism in the form of escrow accounts. So can you break it down further for the viewers?
Correct. That's something that changed as well. It changed from 2007, 2008. There was a new law from the Dubai government as well. And here is giving protection to the investors as well. What's the escrow account? The escrow account is something or an account that it's only related to the project as well. The developer needs to have at least 30% of the funds in order to start the project and in order to start selling as well. I had a client from my side. For example, we have always two accounts to pay, for example, the fees. You have let's say the corporate account where you pay your DLD, which we collect. We pay to the Dubai Land Department. And then you have the escrow account that you pay directly to the project as well. By mistake, my client, he paid, let's say, the full amount to the escrow account. So he paid the 24% initially to this account. And he asked, please, Marco, check with them if they can move the amount that I have in the escrow to the DLD. It's quite easy, just two different accounts. I checked, we did the research, and they told me, look, the escrow account, we cannot touch it. It's something that, for example, the developer cannot move funds as well. So it's supervised by the government as well, and you cannot touch the funds there as well. So at the end, unfortunately, for the client, he had to pay an extra 4% to settle up the D&D amount. Anyways, the 4% will be deducted in the next, let's say, installment. It's not going to be 4% on plus. But it's just to highlight the importance of this account as well, that it cannot be touched. It's a protection for the investor as well.
Okay, right. Makes sense. Now, that's the protection from the government side and from Dubai side in general. At Sonimmo, you claim to protect client interests as your own. How does that actually look like in practice?
Yes. So what we try to do, because, going back to the international clients, most of people don't know about the escrow account, So the thing is, when you are pitching, when you are presenting off-plan opportunity, I think it's one of the ABC of the fundamental to explain, because of course there would be payment plans. So I think it's very important to clarify where those money will go and to explain to the customer how this process works, because as Marco said, 30% is not based on the apartment, it's based on the project. Sometimes projects are worth $500 million, 600, 700 million dirham. So it's a big commitment even for the developer. And the reason why this is happening, because they want to make sure that the project will be delivered. And so at the same time, the client needs to understand that the money they're paying are going towards this payment plan for the house, for the apartment they're purchasing. But at the same time, this money will be used to pay the contractor to basically make the project happening. And what we do at Sonimmo, we are doing as well road shows. So we're traveling around the world, presenting Dubai as a place to invest, Dubai as a place that's safe. It's a place that's growing so fast. At the same time, it's very regulated and secure. So whenever we meet new clients, what we try always to do is to explain what's going on in Dubai, how regulated is the market, and existing project has been handed over, for example, from big developer like Sobha. Sobha now has a very nice community which is called Heartland 1. You have even schools. It's very close to downtown. It's about, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes driving to the Dubai Mall and the Burj Khalifa. And at the same time, you have the community-like vibe. You feel like you are in a city within the city. And now they have as well a very nice project. We had very good traction on the, outside the UAE, which is Heartland 2, which is going to have a big lagoon as well. So, I believe for people, especially that are not used to the off-plan project, they are not familiar with Dubai, it's always I always remember the face when they see the renders, because of course it's like when you're booking your vacation, it's like you see the picture of a nice resort, of a nice hotel, of nice, beautiful, holiday destination. So you always think my expectation is going to match the reality. So I think this is the toughest part for all of us, so that we really need to make sure that we exceed this expectation actually more than anything else, because at the end of the day, as Marco said, people are buying today. Tomorrow morning, they will refer to their partner, friends, family. So it's very important to know, first of all, your product, what you are presenting, what you're selling, but at the same time, all the added value. It's not only about the tower or the villa. It's more about maybe the lifestyle, whatever is going to happen, like the appreciation of the area itself. Because sometimes, Sobha is the example, it's not only about building a tower itself, it's more about building the community. You're going to build infrastructure, roads, school, shopping malls. So, and people want that because, there is a lot of misconception about Dubai. In Europe, they think we are like a cathedral in the desert, that there is like only a building in the middle of nowhere. So it's interesting, when you present this to first-time customer and they are really amazed about, so it's not only the tower, there's more. Absolutely. So, and this is like what we try to do as Sonimmo. Right. Whenever, we call it in sales language, qualify the client. Whenever we talk to new prospect or investors, we always try to show them to buy from A to Z. It's not only about the specific project or the investment opportunities, it's more about the growth, the city, from the new airport that will happen in Dubai South to the long-term vision from the Sheikh itself. So this is what we are trying to do. So presenting Dubai as a global hub, as a place, the many people actually nowadays, they want to be in Dubai. So it's not only about investment anymore, it's more about living in the city. So look, as Sonimmo, what we try to do all the time is to understand what the client needs in terms of I know it sounds very common and easy to hear that, but what we try to do always is to understand if the person is buying for investment, for example, if you're buying to live in the unit, because I believe the requirements are completely different. Of course, if you're looking for your own house, maybe sometime you need different things that when you're buying to get a good ROI or maybe capital appreciation. So, what's really important for us is to try to understand the customer needs and provide them solutions. As I was saying before, in terms of solution, what I mean with solution is from your side, from the agency side, you need to know which project might be more suitable for this kind of clientele. For example, if they're looking to buy for a project for the long run to hold it for 5 to 10 years. What's really important, especially for investors, is to know even your exit strategy. Exit strategy means you're buying maybe today, you want to hold the asset for 5 years. What you care most is about the appreciation of the area. So in that case, we can look at area that are still underdeveloped. They're growing, like for example, Dubai Island. So Meydan itself, they still... I would say a work in progress. Otherwise, if people are looking to buy something ready, we can look at prime location, which might be, for example, downtown, Business Bay, Dubai Marina, or Palm Jumeirah. But the thing is, there are areas nowadays that in terms of appreciation maybe might be lower, but you can get higher ROI. So I believe, in general, it's very important to understand what your client, what the person that it's inquiring for, or you are talking to needs, and then try to deliver it in the best way possible. Because as I said before, if you make a client happy, this is, I would say, the best marketing strategy, because it doesn't end with the sales. Maybe tomorrow morning, this person is buying from us. We're going to do the furnishing for them, upgrade the unit if needed, rent it. And if they want to resell it, we are there to help them and support them.
On the contrary, though, I would like to ask, have you ever turned down a project because it didn't meet your standards?
Honestly, it's it's something that most people in the industry would tell you are crazy, but I'm very confident to say yes, because it's like if you sell cars or if you sell clothes, it's up to you. You can sell everything. You can be a broker and propose to your client whatever you want. But I believe as Sonimmo, for us, it's really important to have a vision. We have a vision that we want to deliver to our clients, something that tomorrow morning they will be happy and that they will not regret buying. And yes, to answer your question, we did. Especially we don't focus in all the areas in Dubai, and we try, to have a type of clientele that mainly is focusing on investors. But at the same time, of course, we've been helping different homeowners to find their dream home. But I would say for us, it's mainly about building relationship, and how we do that we try to advise client. And I think advising sometimes means even saying, yes, I wouldn't advise you to go for this specific project or specific community. But of course, you need to back up this with data, history, and facts, because otherwise, of course, you can say, buy this car instead of another car because I like this car more than another. But, for apartment, especially for investors, what they care is about numbers, and we have a lot of data in Dubai. So this really helps. And of course, as Marco was saying before, even like things can change. We have a long-term vision, but that's when you need to really go deeply into analytics, understand what would be the supply, for example, in a specific area comparing to another area. For example, we are hearing a lot the townhouses, there is shortage, but what is shortage at the end of the day? You need to even like do this calculation of what's the supply,
Absolutely.
what's the number of population, what's the profile they're looking for this specific type. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do then as Sonimmo.
Just maybe on this point, Carlo, that you mentioned on analytics, I think that's important, the collaboration between a broker and a developer as well.
Absolutely.
So it's to compare the numbers as well. I have my figures, and that's why I always ask Carlo, okay, does my calculation make sense? Because he has a more market knowledge. He knows exactly the different locations, the other developers as well.
Right.
And it's to see if it makes sense to propose to the client as well. That's why we see here the collaboration between, let's say, a brokerage firm, Sonimmo, that is doing an outstanding job, with a top developer as well. And here it's important always to compare and to have these numbers as well. That's why we are in this partnership to help the client. Sometimes from my side, I will have different numbers, and to see if we align and we can propose to the investors as well.
Let me push this one step further. I want to ask you, someone listening, planning to invest, what is one question that they should always ask you as this property advisor, but they never do? What do you think is that one important question that should be asked for someone looking to invest?
Today, I struggle to understand from the client sometimes what's going to be their budget. I mean, it's a simple question. Sometimes
Really?
you cannot ask directly as well, but this is essential. You need to know how much a client, an investor, will be able to spend. Based on this, I can do my research. I can check how many bedrooms he can afford, which location he can afford, what's going to be the payment plan that I can offer to him. But you have sometimes the clients will come and, of course, they will not open up, especially if they come with friends. Maybe they don't want to lose their face. They don't want to tell me exactly how much they want to spend. So we lose a lot of time there to have the actual budget from the client as well. It's something essential that you need to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like what I think is really important, as Marco was saying, is it's about the budget. It's about the most of the time clients, they are trying to jump in something bigger, I would say, they can afford, because they believe that if they want to resell it tomorrow morning or flip it, this is going to make them more money. But always advise, like in general, whenever you do an investment, try always to look at something that you can afford today, because things can change quickly. And, for example, another thing I really notice that many people don't know about, especially when you buy primary off-plan, is that when you buy this unit and then there will be the completion, right? And then sometimes you have to pay 40%, 50% or 60%, depends on the project itself. But most people don't know that you can actually get a mortgage on once the unit is ready. And this is something that I believe would help more to close the deal, actually, and to find new potential investors or new potential buyer, because it's very important to clarify that whenever you buy a house, if it's ready, of course, you can apply for a mortgage as long as you have the affordability and the requirements the bank is asking for. For international investors, no residents, you can get up to 60% of the purchase value. For resident, is up to 80%. But even in off-plan, as long as the property is ready, and there is what we call, the term is completion notice issued, because it means the LD will go to the construction site. They will say, okay, this building is ready, and they will issue this. The bank will consider this as a ready project. At that point, you can even find new type of clients. which we call...
Sorry, is that different from handover, the completion certificate?
No, completion, it's kind of different, but at the same time, I would say this happened before the handover. So the completion notice is something that happened when the DLD go to the construction site, see that the building has been completed. So they issue a certificate that say the building is ready. At that moment, the owners will receive a notification in which they, most of the time, for example, if the payment plan required to pay you 40% or 50%, you will need to settle the balance. I believe Marco can confirm this, by the standard 60 days you have from when you receive the notice.
Approximately, yeah. It's going to
be around 60 days, I believe. You have this time frame to settle the payment. And this is when, let's say, three scenario, in my opinion, can happen. Either you pay for it, you get a handover. And for example, as a Sonimmo, what we do for our clients, we take care, if the client live abroad, of the snagging as well. Snagging is the process that when the developers say the handover is ready, they come, we meet at the unit, we do the full inspection, and we make sure the apartment is, as the owner bought it. And if there is anything to be fixed, maintenance team from the developer will take care of it. Otherwise, we will receive it and then the owner will decide if to rent it long-term, short-term. Otherwise, you can resell it without paying the handover fee. And the handover fee will be paid by the new buyer, which can buy cash or with a mortgage, or apply for a mortgage. So you have three different options. And I believe, unfortunately, most of brokers don't explain this process. So, because I believe what's been happening in Dubai in the last few years, that many agents are trying to kind of build this deal in a way that whoever is buying, the exit strategy should be during construction, and never when the apartment is ready itself. So, what do you think, Marco? What's your experience with this?
Yeah, exactly. And I think something important for the off-plan as well, a lot of international investors, they don't know that they have a payment plan as well. So mostly they are not used to it. It's something new and that they're surprised as well.
Does Dubai have more of that payment plan concept than other countries?
Yeah, look, for example, in Europe, most of the properties, they will be not off plan. It's going to be ready properties that you will buy, you will take a mortgage, and it's going to be a different, let's say, concept. That's why Dubai has a lot of off plan as well. And the clients will be surprised. They will think, okay, I buy a property of one bedroom. When I do the payment, okay, it's not going to be all in one shot. You start with 20%, you pay the 4% to DLD, and then you have your milestones as well. So that's something advantage in terms of cash for the investor as well, because he doesn't need to pay everything one shot. He will spread it out in different milestones as well. And it's a great advantage because you're not putting all your cash on one shot as well. On top, you can resell the property as well during the construction as well. So we have some clauses as well. Sometimes it can be 30%, sometimes it can be 50% of the payment, and you can already resell the property with an added value as well.
Okay. So it varies between 30 and 50% most of the time.
Depends on the project. So depends on the project, depends on the location, and on the season as well. For example, during the summer, we have the promotion to resell the property at 30%. But mostly in Dubai, it's going to be 50%, yeah.
Well, gentlemen, if you were to right now invest for yourselves from scratch, how would you invest in Dubai right now?
Look, that's a very good question. I will spread it out. I mean, you cannot put all eggs in one basket. You need to use different types of strategies as well. I will do different types of properties to cover maybe 2 or 3 to start with one.
Okay.
One that I can expect an added value in the next years in a location that is expected to grow as well with, let's say, a new metro line coming, new tower, new shopping malls, schools as well, that it has an appreciation for the next years to come as well. Another one will be to rent it out, to have it ready in 2 years, not too long as well, so that I can have my rental income from, let's say, the tenant as well. So it depends case by case, but this is what I would do from my side to diversify, to look at the different locations. and to select.
To comment on the fact that you mentioned that you would rent it out, could you please confirm, I don't know the exact number of years, but Dubai is one of the quickest places that which you can recoup your investment in terms of rental ROI, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the rental yield in Dubai, the average is 7 to 8%.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the area. You know, like with the latest data we saw in 2024, for example, the thing is prime location tend to have a lower ROI because the prices really increase due to the low supply.
True.
It's a consequence, you know, everything is based on supply and demand. There is very high demand in prime location, which I mean anything, for example, in downtown, Marina, Palm Jumeirah area, there are not many new projects. And there are higher ROI in emerging area that are like being developed now, which are, for example, Dubai South or anything towards, I would say, what we call the desert. So a community, they are in Dubai land, I would say. And so in general, I would say in Dubai, realistically, you can pay back the unit in about 12 years. These are the latest figures we saw. What I mean with this is based on the annual rent and the appreciation, the average might be 10 to 12 years.
Okay, which is much quicker than other.
Much quicker, yeah, definitely about Europe, where we have in Italy an ROI about rental yield of 3%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then you pay high taxes on top of that.
Right. Makes sense. So you've said you treat your clients' investments like your own. Has there ever been a time you've had to walk away from a deal because it didn't feel right?
I mean, personally, yeah, I think this happened, but not that much in terms of like, because I believe at the end of the day, what you want to do is to try find a solution for your clients, especially because, you know, in our industry, as I said before, it's very important to start from scratch and try to understand the customer needs. So I would say when this happened, it was because there was another party involved. So as Marco was saying, in this industry, like we try to kind of support each other and try to work together. But, you know, it's always, I would say, a lottery. You can find people that you get along with, they're professional and they are like, you have the same, you're very aligned. You have this kind of vision that you want to deliver a certain standard. And there are sometimes other cases when you work with someone that, you know, as other priority, I would say, it might be maybe to close the deal quickly, to get a higher commission, or to just sell something for, you know, closing the deal as fast as possible. So yeah, this happened, but this is always a lesson, I think. Whenever something like that happens, you always think twice with who you want to deal with. I think this is happening in all the industries, not only about real estate. And that's why I believe in our industries are very important about to build your own network and to have even testimonials, you know, something that, for example, in other markets, like US, I think it's one of the strongest real estate market in the world. You see, for example, billboard of agents that are like area specialists, or they're doing a transaction in a specific area. And the first one to approach them are the owner or investor itself. In Dubai, something that's still, I would say, under development. It's like more work in progress. Yeah. But it will happen. It will happen. Eventually. I think it's like the market, year by year, they will become more consolidated in a way that everyone is working in a community will specialize there. They will get more, they will try to increase their portfolio in the area, and they will become specialized, might be villas, townhouse, apartment, or offices, commercial. So I think it's just a matter of time. But in general, yes, from my personal perspective, going back to your question, yeah, it happened, but we always need to find a solution. You know, when in real estate, we are, like they say, therapist, problem solver. I don't know. We try always to find solution because that's what client want. Otherwise, you know, as you said, buying a house is something that is not that easy. It's like one of your biggest, I would say, commitment in life. So that's why you need always, at the end of the day, from the customer side to find someone that can help you, and from your side to kind of trust as well the client that trusts you. Like I know it sounds funny, but it's I think it's very important to build the relationship in the long run.
But tell me about your road shows. Some experiences over there, and how do those go?
So like the last roadshow we did, it was back in February this year. It was in Milan. Actually, that's how I met Marco, because I was working with another colleague of him before. And, we started this idea to do a roadshow in Italy, in Milan. And, we were looking for someone that was an Italian speaker. Marco came out from the blue and saying, guys, I'm from Switzerland, I speak Italian as well, I want to help you. So we were looking for someone that could be part of the project. And we did this event, and I think it was a great experience for us in terms of understanding how we could work together. And we really believe at Sonimmo that it's very important, as I was saying before, to go overseas and to present Dubai as a place to invest, right, and to be as well, to come and visit, because when you buy a house, most of the time people just want to put the foundation to explore the city and to learn more about what's going on in the market. So I would say it's the first step, just to enter the market, and then that's how we are trying to do with the roadshow. What do you think, Marco?
Yeah, I think it's important to be there. It's important that they know you. It's the first step to meet a client that comes to understand their requirements as well, and from our side to tell them what we have available, how Dubai works, how the different process are working while purchasing a property in Dubai as well. So that's what we are trying to do, to be there, to go to different countries, to be present there as well, and to have clients to come and inquire about the different types of apartments, villas, townhouses, areas of Dubai. Because a lot of people, they came maybe to Dubai, they went to Dubai Mall, they went to the beach, but that's the only thing that they know. They didn't have the time to explore the different areas.
Right.
They don't know the price per square foot in the different neighborhoods as well. And that's where we come in. We tell them and we advise them and we give them the information as well. So that's our role from our side, yeah.
That's why we always start with a map of Dubai, because I think it's very important to let them understand where the all the main attraction they can. As Marco said, maybe they went to Dubai Mall, so all the landmarks they know, mainly it's touristic places. Right. And another thing I can tell you that we always learn from Roadshow is that going back again to the escrow account or even to the payment plan, things that people sometimes believe buying in Dubai is very expensive. But if you compare Dubai to all the global hub today, it's still much cheaper.
Absolutely.
And you get things that here are for granted. As I was mentioning before, for example, the parking space in other part of the world is not. If you want to have an apartment with a parking space in New York, you pay a fortune. In Dubai, it's still something very affordable.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And I think the amenities, they play an extremely, let's say, changing role for the clients as well, because you have everything. You have from lagoons, you have beach, you have barbecue areas, you have yoga areas, fitness, gym. Everything is included, and you're paying a service fee every year, which is not that high, and you get all these services as well. So always tell my clients you're living like in a resort, because you have everything.
These amenities, and like you mentioned about the parking, I was looking into checking property prices in New York City, and I learned that you pay the service charges that we have over here can sometimes over there be potentially thousands of dollars per month, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we do take a lot for granted in Dubai. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And even about, for example, the concierge service, the security, something that I was saying in Europe, we only have in very premium building, and you pay a fortune for that. As Marco was saying, service charges are very high. And here, all service charges based on the size of the unit. Every developer, of course, at different prices, because there are then different as well type of amenities. So everything depends on the on the building type. But I would say, I believe comparing to the rest of the world, especially like global hubs, Dubai is still very competitive and for what it's offering, especially.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. This was wonderful, and hopefully the viewers found it valuable. Stay tuned for more.